Hi everyone, welcome back to the Gilbert F. Stansel Musical Instrument Museum here at Blue Lake Fine Arts Camp. My name is Dave Bower and I'm the curator to the museum. You know, when the museum's closed like it is now and there's nobody around, there's lots of cleaning to do and cataloging and organizing of things. But one of the really cool things about being the curator is that you can also sort of try out all of the instruments around here. Now, I'm not a brass player, but all of the brass instruments in here really fascinate me. And so I've spent some time, trying to figure out how they make sounds and what they do. Okay, so maybe it's just as well that I wasn't a brass instrument player. But if you look around at all of the brass instruments in our collection, you can see the incredible variety there is among brass instruments, maybe more so than other instrument families. Sometimes when campers and other visitors will come into the museum, they'll go to particular brass instruments and they'll look at them and say, wow, that instrument looks really, really weird. Well, that's my opportunity to say, well, sometimes musical instruments are designed and built for particular purposes, and so that's why they're shaped the way they are. So let's look at a few of these and I can explain. For example, we have this really tiny instrument called a post horn, and it's got a much bigger sound than you might think. And as the name might suggest, a post horn was used by the postmen, especially in Europe. And what they would do was that when they would get close to a particular town, they would give a particular call on this horn, and the people in town would know that the postman was coming. Here's another very interesting instrument in the trombone family. This particular instrument was made by a trombone virtuoso named David Schumann. And you can see that it kind of looks like somebody stepped on it and bent it because the slide is sticking out from it. But in fact, Schumann designed this for trombone players who didn't have very long arms. And so what you could do then is that you could reach out to the side, and it was much easier to reach seventh position by reaching out to the side than it was to reach straight down. My daughter, when she first started trombone, could have used a trombone like this. Then we've got a particular instrument called a cavalry trumpet. And it has very interesting type of rotary valves that kind of piggyback over top of each other. And you can see that the bell is sticking up. Well, why would you want to do that? Well, if you're in the cavalry, that meant you're on the back of a horse. So if you were playing a regular standard bell forward trumpet and you blew this into the back of the horse's head, it might spook them and the horse might rear up. So, interesting idea to have the bell pointing up. That also helped the sound to sort of circulate around a little bit more. Here's another really interesting one. Speaking of military instruments, this is called a sax horn. And you notice that the mouthpiece is here and the bell sticks back over your shoulder. In fact, I'm holding it upside down. There we go. So it sticks back over your shoulder this way. Well, this is from a time when there were huge bands that would be a part of the military forces that were going into a battle, and the band would usually march in first. Good way to get yourself shot, right? Well, in any case, the bell goes back over the shoulder so that you can help to inspire the soldiers that are marching into battle behind you. Here's another really interesting one. This is called a Wagner Tuba. And as the name suggests, it was invented by the composer Richard Wagner, who wrote operas in the 19th century. And he actually invented this instrument and began writing parts for it before the instrument itself existed. And you had to have somebody to play it because there wasn't any such thing as a Wagner Tuba player in the orchestra at the time. So they made it so that horn players could play it. So that's why it's set up left-handed, and it also has a horn-sized mouthpiece on it. It's a very nice sounding instrument as well. Much better if an actual brass player was playing it. One more thing to show you that's a really fun instrument is this beautiful one called a double-belled euphonium. And I have to confess that before I started working in the museum, I thought a double-belled euphonium was a myth because I only knew of it when it was mentioned in the song 76 Trombones in The Music Man, right? But in any case, it is an actual euphonium with 2 bells on it. Well, why does it have 2? Well, it's so that a euphonium virtuoso can actually sort of play duets with themselves. So if you can hear this, I hope. Right now the sound's coming out of the big bell. But if you push this 5th valve way down here, so somebody who can play it way better than I can do all kinds of fun echo effects and various things, and it's a really, really fun instrument to play. But it was also so kind of heavy. So there's way more than that in our collection to show you about interesting shaped brass instruments and what they do. And lots of other instruments in different instrument families also have different shapes depending on the purpose that they were designed for. So I hope that the next time you're here at camp, you'll come in and see all of these. We look forward to seeing you all back here in 2021, and we hope that you are all well and safe. There's lots more content like this on our social media pages, so keep an eye on that. And thanks for watching this virtual arts video brought to you by Blue Lake Fine Arts Camp. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.